Welcome back to the Buffalo Plus channel on YouTube. Dan Fetes, Mike Catalana. I am Jenna Cottrell. Before we start, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It means so much to our channel as the Bills, they're getting ready this week, coming off a 35-0 win over the Dolphins. Up next, they have Washington. Mike, I want to hear from you because we have not seen the Josh Allen of 2020 so far yet this season. Where are you at with your take on that?
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of focus on Josh, and I think it's mostly because of what he established a year ago and the contract he signed. We can all say Josh is wired in a way to always prove, and I think he's done that. But we're also looking at a guy who is always trying to prove he's better than people think he is. And this is the first time where he's got to live up to people's expectations, because Josh Allen was great in 2020. Josh Allen was an MVP finalist. Josh Allen signed for $250 million. The bar is way up there now. And Dan, when you look at a guy like that, he's trying, I think in some way, to justify that.
Well, I think he's trying to justify it for himself.
Yes.
I think he is so good. We talk about whether it's cliches or not, that Josh, with the media especially, is very scripted. He's almost guarded at times. You don't get full answers sometimes out of him, honest answers. Sometimes they're canned. We joke around about that. Josh says what we're expecting to hear. I think he's living up, or he has to meet his expectations are so high. I think that he's always been trying to prove people wrong. I think he just needs to take a step back and go, hey, just because it's $258 million doesn't mean I need to throw 5 touchdown passes every week or complete 95% of my passes. Short passes, getting back in a rhythm, which is what made him all that money. Well, just do what's gotten you there.
It's so interesting because this Bills team has gone from the hunters to the hunted. Josh Allen has gone from the underdog to the franchise quarterback who's getting national attention coming up in the MVP race. So it's so interesting to see how much the expectations on this team have flipped, and also now how this team does deal with that, and especially Josh Allen, considering what we expect out of him now. Again, we always talk about how we're constantly thinking of more. The Bills had a 35-0 win over the Dolphins. It was a shutout win, and we're still like, but Josh looked a little off, because Josh did look a little off.
And you can even tell that the Bills are conscious of it. They'll never admit this, but when we hear conversations, even Sean McDermott talking about, well, and Brian Dable, Josh did a lot of things that helped us in other ways.
Smart football.
That's what you say about Tyrod Taylor or Taylor Heineke. Or no, it is.
No,
it's
you're
the
right.
kind of thing you say, or just a guy, or you would have said about 2018 Josh Allen.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
You
Young
say
Josh.
about the guy where you say, we're happy he contributed so much. And there are times when you do that. Josh Allen always does those things.
Yeah.
He's the franchise quarterback. And, you know, I've heard a lot of fans say, well, he's been against good defenses, and he has been.
Yep.
But this is why you pay him all that money. Because you want him to be at his best against the best.
Correct.
I think it's coming.
Maybe
it's this week. Like, it's not like we're down on Josh Allen.
No.
But even the biggest fan has to admit the first 2 weeks.
And Josh has admitted that too.
Yeah.
So this is not, he's not oblivious. He's not, you know, to this regression. But I think that you even saw good quarterbacks, the great quarterbacks, bounce back. They're able to forget plays. That's what Josh said when he was asked about, are you too hard on yourself as a critic? And he's like, yeah, probably. The best quarterbacks can forget the last play, good or bad. Yeah. That's what he's got to do.
Yeah.
What did Dable say? He goes, he told us, he goes, yeah, I was upstairs with him, and he's got this despondent bit on the way he was. And he's like, and I told him, hey, you're going to make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. You just bounce back from it. I think he'll be fine.
I just loved when Kim Jones, the NFL Network, asked, you know, Josh, maybe we've heard you talk about how you're your toughest critic. Maybe you should be a little less hard on yourself. And he kind of joked and laughed. He was like, yeah, I probably should, but I just want it too bad. And that's something that we've seen Josh, and we've seen him consistently get better. It has been Josh getting better every single year.
And one quick thing before we make our picks. It's a lot easier to take that guy who's too hard on himself, who cares so much,
and rein
it in, as opposed to the guy who's got blinders on and is oblivious to the criticism because he thinks he's too good.
Well, I think that's part of it, is that we have seen Josh, 2018, 2019 Josh, we were saying, can he make the next step?
Yeah.
Could he do it? Could
300 yards.
Right.
Yeah.
Could he increase his completion percentage to 65%? Like, could he do all those things? And then he did it. So now we're like, well, where is it?
No, could he get to 60? And he went to 65.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That was what he did,
Yeah.
and he surpassed it by a ton.
Yeah. Well, let's also quickly get into the Bills defense because they have been playing outstanding so far this season. Look, it's only been a couple games, obviously. But, Dan, what has made this team, that unit, just a little bit,
better?
Yeah.
Elite? It's a
yeah,
pass rush. It's something they haven't had for a long time.
Yeah.
And they have a legitimate pass rush that can, all of a sudden, when the Washington football team turns on the film this week, they're going to see Tua Tagovailoa getting knocked out and Jacoby Brissett running for his life.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, when you bring that element, it's another thing to prepare for. And also, they've shown that they're going to be more aggressive this year. That's what they showed against Miami, blitzing from all different angles. It's another thing that another offense now has to consider.
The other thing is, let's give credit to the unheralded star of the Super Bowl Shuffle in 1985, Leslie Frazier. Watch the video. He's in the background. Dancing, well, I put it to you this way, like I do. It's that bad.
It's the wedding dance?
It's the wedding, yeah.
It's
rough. But he has been phenomenal. I think he's a great coach.
Yeah.
And I think he's respected, and he's also adaptable. And I think he's done that, to Dan's point, with the personnel he's had, and they've played really well.
Yeah.
And I think they have a good chance to keep it up this
They
week.
stayed aggressive.
Yep.
All right, Dan, your pick.
This is a tricky spot here because I think that the Washington football team is maybe a little bit better than we think in the sense of they don't get as much attention. They were a playoff team that I think they play up to their level of competition or down to their level of competition. Taylor Heineke is a complete wild card in this game. If he plays well, I think the football team has a decent chance to win this game. But while we talk about how the Bills' offense has been disappointing so far and underachieving, well, the Washington defense has been that way so far this season. So something's got to give. Either the Washington football defense has to step up in this game or the Bills' offense has to step up in this game. I think it's closer than maybe for comfort for some Bills fans. I have this game 27-24. The Washington football team covers. The Bills get the win, maybe on a fourth quarter drive to kind of maybe get Josh back to what he needs to do, winning games, making plays.
All right. And you're 1-1 in your picks. You're 1-1 in your picks. I am also 1-1 in my picks, and I'm going to do my pick now because I also have the Bills winning this one. I have them winning 27-21. I also have this game being pretty close, Dan, because of what you talked about. Because that Washington defense, that front four, we know how aggressive they've been. They haven't lived up to that. And I think once you talk about, Dan, also the fact that this Bills offense, we haven't seen Josh Allen really be the Josh Allen that we know. I think Allen is comfortable at home. Heineke making his first road start in a very loud Highmark Stadium, as we all know. I think that will play into it as well.
Good point.
I have the Bills. They're the more talented team overall, and I expect to see that on Sunday.
Yeah, I think it's a good test. I think the Washington football team reminds me of the 2017 Bills. It's a good team, well coached, with a capable quarterback that can play really well, and then other weeks you're like, what are they doing out there? Heineke's interesting to watch. I do think playing at Old Dominion did not prepare him for playing in Orchard Park on Sunday. I also think the Bills were maybe embarrassed is too strong of a word, but severely disappointed at how they played in front of their home fans in week number one. I think they come back. I think they're in control the whole way. I think Allen leads them. I've got the Bills winning at 28-19.
All right.
Two last points. I need to apologize. Jenna on this show last week was saying that the elements would be a factor in Miami, and I said she was crazy.
I hope we got that
it
on
was
camera.
so hot. She was so right. The Bills in the middle of the second quarter were sucking wind. Every single person was hunched over. Levi Wallace went down with cramps. Everybody was dying before the Matt Milano turnover. So it was a factor.
Yes. Thank
Factor
you.
in this game, the Washington football team, 10 days off. They played Thursday night. They get extra rest, extra time to prepare. Ron Rivera, I don't know if you guys knew this. He used to have Sean McDermott as an assistant coach on his staff in Carolina. There is something to giving a good football coach extra time to prepare. I think that makes this game a little bit trickier in my book, why I would probably have the football team covering, Bills getting the win.
Yeah, no, I think it makes sense. And thank you for acknowledging that.
And by the way, the elements appear to affect the Bills. What did it do to the Dolphins?
They were also embarrassing.
For other reasons. All right, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the Buffalo Plus channel right here for Dan and Mike. I'm Jenna. We'll catch you next time. We'll have plenty of post-game coverage as well. Dan and Mike will be up over in Orchard Park for the game. Kickoff at 1 o'clock. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll catch you next time on the Buffalo Plus channel.